Stop everything you're doing right now and look at your screen, because the Hollywood hierarchy just shifted, and the fallout is messier than a Harvey family dinner. We've all seen the pictures. Michael B. Jordan, the man they said couldn't lead a franchise, the man they mocked for his preferences, is now an Academy Award winner. But while MBJ was making history, was Lori Harvey making a phone call? Honey, the tea isn't just hot, it's boiling over and burning the upholstery. Reports are screaming that Lori tried to reach out to her favorite ex after his historic win, only to be met with the loudest silence in the history of cellular service. We're talking straight to voicemail. No thanks, babe, no new phone, who dis? Just beep. But that's not even the kicker. You want to know who's holding the receipt? Her own blood. Her stepsister, Brandy Harvey, has reportedly entered the chat, and she is not holding back. Imagine being the it girl, the one who never misses, the one who leaves them wanting more, only to find yourself at 4 a.m. crying into a silk pillowcase while your mother, Marjorie, tries to explain where it all went wrong. Is this the moment the Harvey narrative finally crumbled? Did Lori really think she could just spin the block on an Oscar winner? Or is Brandy Harvey finally serving the cold dish of revenge we've all been waiting for? Buckle up, T-Squad, because we are diving deep into the Harvey mansion to see what happens when the favorite child finally realizes she fumbled the bag of the millennium. This is the beginning of the investigative and sensational breakdown. The tone remains sharp, sarcastic, and loaded with suspense. The story truly begins at the exact moment the name Michael B. Jordan echoed through the Dolby Theatre. This wasn't just an award, it was a psychological blow to everyone who claimed Michael's career would wither away into the shadows after his high-profile split from Lori Harvey. But while the world was busy giving Michael a standing ovation, the real drama was erupting behind the closed, gold-plated doors of the Harvey mansion. A scream reportedly echoed through those hallways that left the staff stunned. We all know Lori Harvey as the supposed queen of dating, the woman who allegedly pulled the strings of everyone from Future to Diddy to Memphis to Pi. But in the case of Michael B. Jordan, that legendary pride seems to have finally hit the Hollywood pavement. Michael dated Lori during a pivotal moment in his career, giving her a level of respect and public validation that no one else had. Even Steve Harvey himself famously claimed he had never seen a man treat his daughter with such intentionality. But then, out of nowhere, Lori pulled the plug, claiming she wanted to enjoy the single life. However, the truth is finally leaking out. Our deep cover sources and the explosive revelations from Brandy Harvey have confirmed that this breakup wasn't a strategic move. It was the biggest fumble in celebrity history, and Lori is only just now feeling the full weight of that mistake. Let's talk about this massive scandal ignited by Brandy Harvey. As Steve Harvey's biological daughter, Brandy has spent years watching the perfect family drama curated by Lori and Marjorie from the sidelines. The details Brandy is reportedly leaking are enough to make your skin crawl. According to internal reports, the second Michael's historic Oscar win was announced, Lori tried to make a move. She reportedly attempted to call him, hoping to worm her way back into his inner circle now that he has reached the pinnacle of Hollywood success. But Michael, he showed her the door that every person who devalues you deserves. He didn't just block her, he reportedly sent her straight to voicemail. It was a level of public and private humiliation that a girl like Lori, who is used to being chased, simply could not handle. Brandy claims Lori spent the entire night sobbing into Marjorie's shoulder, screaming about how she shouldn't have let him go. She reportedly admitted that Michael was her ultimate level up and she threw him away for a temporary thrill. But the story doesn't end with a few tears. We have to analyze how the Harvey family has historically manipulated the narrative. Back in 2022, when the breakup first happened, rumors suddenly flooded the internet claiming Michael was the one cheating. Lisa Ray, who happens to be Marjorie's best friend, took to social media to smear Michael's reputation, suggesting he had crawled back to a white ex-girlfriend. It was a calculated PR stunt designed to make Lori look like the innocent victim. But Michael stayed silent. He never clapped back. He maintained that he respects all women, regardless of race, and his silence became his greatest weapon. While the Harveys were busy throwing shade, Michael was in the gym and on set, focusing on the craft that would eventually win him an Academy Award. He proved that when you focus on your own lane, the universe eventually puts you exactly where you belong. while your detractors are left watching from the cheap seats. The million-dollar question is, why is Brandy Harvey choosing now to expose everything? This goes back to a deep-seated family feud. Since Steve Harvey married Marjorie, there has been a glaring disparity in how he treats his children. Brandy and Carly, Steve's biological daughters, have frequently been sidelined in favor of Laurie. Steve's obsession with Laurie's public image is no secret in Hollywood. Some insiders even suggest that Steve's distancing from his first family was a prerequisite for fitting into the high-glamour lifestyle Marjorie demanded. Brandy has watched as her father poured millions into a stepdaughter while his own flesh and blood were left to navigate their lives in the shadows of Laurie's spotlight. So, when Laurie hit rock bottom after the Oscars, Brandy saw her opening. She decided to let the world know that the cool, unbothered persona Laurie projects on Instagram is a total fraud. This leak is the culmination of years of suppressed resentment from a daughter who was made to feel. Public reaction has been brutal, with social media officially crowning Laurie Harvey the Fumbler of the Year. The memes are relentless. The general consensus is that Michael B. Jordan did exactly the right thing by sending her back to the streets. On one side, you have Michael celebrating the crowning achievement of his life with an Oscar in hand. On the other, you have Laurie reportedly trying to spin the block back to her ex, Damson Idris, in a desperate attempt to stay relevant. It is a textbook case of a level up versus a level down. Michael proved he doesn't need the Harvey name to build a legacy, while Laurie's entire identity seems built on the men she stands next to. Brandy also revealed that Marjorie is in a total state of panic because her PR machine has finally stalled. They can't paint Michael as the villain anymore because the world sees the truth. He was a hard-working, honorable man who gave Laurie everything, only to be tossed aside when she thought she could find something better. This is why the scandal has evolved from a mere breakup into a full-scale family war. The Harvey mansion is reportedly a house divided. Steve Harvey, who always called Michael his favorite, is caught in a psychological tug-of-war. On one side is his stepdaughter's massive ego, and on the other is the man he genuinely respected. Brandy mentioned that Steve often sits in silence, seemingly regretting how things ended with Michael and blaming Laurie for destroying a solid foundation. Marjorie, however, remains in fierce defense mode, creating two distinct camps within the home. Brandy's investigative disclosure is historic because it marks the first time an insider has shattered the illusion of Harvey family unity. People are now wondering, what else does Brandy have? Will she reveal where the money Steve lavishes on Laurie actually comes from? The cycle of drama is far from over. As our investigation went deeper, we discovered that after the Oscar win, Laurie didn't just stop at calls. She reportedly flooded Michael's phone with long, desperate text messages. She allegedly tried to trigger his nostalgia, reminding him of their Christmases together and how they were meant to be. But Michael's cold silence has reportedly driven her to the brink of a breakdown. She's become so desperate that she's allegedly reaching out to Michael's inner circle, begging for a way back in. Brandy points out that Laurie's distress isn't about love, it's about status. Michael is now at an altitude Laurie can never reach on her own. She has always hunted for men who can keep her in the headlines, and Michael was the ultimate prize. By throwing him away, she didn't just lose a boyfriend, she lost her seat at the top of the Hollywood food chain. Michael's win has effectively turned Laurie into a footnote in his biography, and she can't stand being the secondary character. The most satisfying part of this saga for many fans is seeing Michael's friends post cryptic messages on social media. They've been calling Michael a real king and suggesting that some people are just stepping stones you have to trip over before you can fly. It's a loud, clear message to Laurie and her family. Brandy Harvey's exposure is going viral because people were tired of Steve Harvey's perfect family lectures. Brandy has proven it was all a facade. Steve's decision to ignore his biological children while elevating Laurie is finally coming back to haunt him. Brandy has made it clear she isn't afraid of being cut off financially because she can no longer live with the lies. Her courage was sparked by watching Michael B. Jordan suffer in silence, maintain his dignity, and ultimately win the biggest prize in the industry. The story has now reached a point of no return. The cool and collected image Laurie Harvey spent years building is in tatters. Everyone wants to know what happens next. Will Laurie issue a desperate public statement? Will Marjorie fabricate a new lie to smear Michael? Brandy has hinted that she possesses even more evidence that could permanently banish the Harvey family from Hollywood's elite circles. This isn't just a family feud. It's the explosive release of years of pain from a daughter who was cast aside. Michael B. Jordan's Oscar didn't just give him a trophy, it gave the world the truth about the Harvey family. The fire Brandy started is spreading far beyond the mansion, and it's consuming everything in its path. Now that it's confirmed Michael rejected Laurie's call and that she is down bad, the world is waiting for Michael's next move. He has shown that self-respect is his priority. He has purged his life of people who only wanted to be there for the victory lap or who thought they could use him as an accessory. Laurie Harvey likely thought Michael would always be an option, but by winning that Oscar and sending her to voicemail, Michael proved he is soaring in a new sky where Laurie doesn't have a flight plan. Brandy Harvey's bravery in speaking the truth is giving this investigation a new direction, as we begin to look closer at the dark secrets the Harveys have kept hidden and how Michael's victory finally brought them to light. The silence from Michael B. Jordan's camp isn't just a lack of communication. It is a strategic masterclass in psychological warfare that has left the Harvey PR machine spinning its wheels in the mud. According to Brandy Harvey's latest alleged leaks, the atmosphere inside the Harvey mansion has turned from Team Laurie to a house divided. While Marjorie is reportedly scouring the internet, trying to find a way to spin this massive rejection into a win, the cracks in the family foundation are becoming wide enough for the whole world to see. You have to understand the level of delusion we are dealing with here. For years, the narrative has been that Laurie Harvey is the one who moves on, the one who leaves, the one who wins the breakup. But when Michael B. Jordan hit that Oscar stage, he didn't just win a trophy, he won the breakup in front of billions of people. And Laurie, she's reportedly feeling like a background character in a movie she thought she was starring in. Brandy Harvey is reportedly feeding the streets with information that Steve Harvey is finally reaching his breaking point with the Laura First policy. Sources claim that Steve had a private moment where he looked at Michael's success and realized that his stepdaughter didn't just walk away from a boyfriend. She walked away from a legacy. The sarcasm in the air is thick enough to choke on. Imagine being Steve Harvey, a man who built a brand on act like a success, think like a success, only to watch your favorite child act like a complete amateur in the game of life. Brandy is reportedly revealing that Steve is no longer the silent observer. There are whispers of shouting matches behind closed doors, with Steve allegedly pointing out that Michael is the most refined man Laurie has ever dated, and likely the last one of that caliber who will ever take her seriously. The investigative findings suggest that Steve's frustration isn't just about Michael. It's about the realization that the brand he helped Laurie build is based on a house of cards that Michael just blew down with a single gold statue. But let's get into the leaked reports regarding the night of the Oscars. Brandy reportedly claims that the straight-to-voicemail incident was the catalyst for a total meltdown. While Laurie was allegedly trying to craft the perfect congratulatory text, something that sounded casual but hinted at a "we should catch up," Michael was reportedly celebrating with the elite of Hollywood, surrounded by people who don't even remember Laurie's name. The anonymous sources close to the family say Laurie was checking her phone. 30 seconds, waiting for that typing bubble that never appeared. The embarrassment of being ignored by a man you once returned to the streets is a special kind of karma that social media is currently feasting on. Brandy is reportedly telling anyone who will listen that Marjorie spent thousands on a consolation shopping spree the next day just to get Laurie out of her funk. We're talking 5-figure bags and jewelry, all documented by Brandy as evidence of the corruption of reality that exists in that house. The public reaction has shifted from curiosity to mockery. The internet is investigating Laurie's past relationships with a magnifying glass, and the findings are not pretty. From the Diddy era to the future situationship, people are realizing that Laurie's pattern of dating is less about love and more about clout climbing. But Michael B. Jordan was the peak. He was the Everest of her dating life. And now that he's reached the summit without her, the descent for Laurie is looking steep and rocky. Brandy Harvey's decision to air this dirty laundry is being seen as a public service by those who have been tired of the Harvey family's forced perfection. Brandy is reportedly highlighting the abuse of power within the family, where Laurie's feelings are treated like a national emergency while the rest of the siblings are expected to just stay in their lane and keep quiet. Well, Brandy is officially out of her lane and driving 100 miles per hour toward the truth. And what about the damson Idris of it all? The investigative findings suggest that Laurie's sudden pivot back to damson is nothing more than a desperate PR stunt to show Michael that she's happy. But everyone can see through it. It's like buying a tricycle because you couldn't handle the Ferrari. Brandy reportedly laughed when she heard Laurie was spinning the block back to damson, allegedly calling it a poverty move for someone who once had an A-list king. The sarcasm in Brandy's tone, as reported by insiders, is legendary. She's reportedly telling friends that Laurie is trying to save face, but she's actually losing her head. The fallout from this Oscar victory is hitting the Harvey bank account too. Reports suggest that brand deals that were once lined up for Laurie are now pivoting toward people associated with Michael's new era. Why? Because brands want to be associated with winners, not famblers. The tension in the Harvey clan is reaching a boiling point. Brandy is reportedly documenting everything. The late-night crying, the desperate phone calls to Michael's publicist, the frantic meetings with Marjorie to fix the image. This isn't just a gossip story. This is a breakdown of a Hollywood dynasty. Steve Harvey is reportedly hiding in his cigar room more than ever, trying to escape the high-pitched drama of his wife and stepdaughter. Brandy's exposure is creating a hypothetical crisis for the Harveys. If Steve's biological kids continue to rebel, the family-first brand he's sold for decades will be exposed as a total sham. Brandy is reportedly pointing out the irony of Steve giving relationship advice to millions, while his own household is a war zone of jealousy and regret. The public reactions are fueling the fire. People are calling for a Brandy Harvey tell-all book, and honestly, we'd all buy it. The investigative nature of this tea shows that Laurie wasn't just not ready for marriage. She was reportedly intimidated by Michael's drive. Michael was moving toward greatness, and Laurie was reportedly comfortable just being famous for being famous. Brandy's leaks suggest that Laurie felt she couldn't keep up with Michael's level of discipline and ambition, so she ran back to a lifestyle that didn't require her to grow. But now, seeing him with that Oscar, the realization that she chose the streets over the history books is a pill she can't swallow. As we look at the fallout, the consequences are becoming clear. There are whispers that Steve Harvey's show producers are worried about the Harvey brand being tarnished by this messy public feud. If the public starts siding with Michael and Brandy, Steve becomes the villain who abandoned his real kids for a stepdaughter who fumbled the bag. The financial crisis for brand Laurie is real. Her engagement numbers are reportedly dipping because the fantasy of her being the ultimate catch has been shattered. She's no longer the prize. She's the one who got rejected by the prize. Brandy Harvey is reportedly staying 10 steps ahead, making sure that every time Marjorie tries to put out a fire, Brandy drops a fresh gallon of gasoline. The anonymous sources are becoming less anonymous as Brandy's voice becomes clearer. She is tired of the facade. She is tired of the favoritism. And most of all, she is tired of Laurie Harvey being treated like a victim when she was the one who walked away from a good man. The sarcasm in our investigative report is nothing compared to the reality of the Harvey dinner table right now. We are seeing a hypothetical probe into the family's history. People are digging up Marcia Harvey's old stories, Steve's first wife, and comparing how she was treated to how Marjorie is currently living. The contrast is sickening, and Brandy is making sure no one forgets it. The abuse of power Steve allegedly exercised by cutting off his first family is being linked back to why Laurie thinks she can treat people like disposable accessories. But Michael B. Jordan wasn't an accessory. He was the main event. And Laurie is finding out the hard way that when you lose the main event, you're just left with the cleanup crew. The drama is escalating by the hour. Reports are coming in that Laurie has tried to accidentally show up at places where Michael might be, but Michael's security is reportedly tighter than the vault at Fort Knox. He's not interested in closure. He's not interested in a friendly chat. He is interested in his legacy, and Laurie Harvey is no longer a part of that video. Brandy Harvey is reportedly watching this from the sidelines with a front row seat to the karma she's been waiting for since 2007. As we move into the next phase of this investigation, we have to ask, how far will Brandy go? Will she release the actual recordings? Will she show the world the real Laurie Harvey behind the Instagram filters? The tension is building, the public is hungry for more, and the Harveys are running out of places to hide. Michael B. Jordan is sitting on his throne, Oscar in hand, while the Harvey family is left to deal with the Brandy bomb that just went off in the middle of their living room. The consequences of this straight-to-voicemail heard round the world are only just beginning. Laurie's dignified exit has turned into a desperate scramble, and Marjorie's PR genius has met its match in Brandy's raw truth. This is more than a celebrity breakup. This is the deconstruction of a manufactured idol. Laurie Harvey has finally met a force she couldn't charm, a man she couldn't manipulate, and a sister she couldn't silence. The investigative findings are clear. Michael B. Jordan is the king, and the Harveys are just trying to survive the revolution. Stay tuned, the real fallout is about to begin. We're going deeper into the legal threats, the secret meetings, and the final breaking point that might just change the Harvey family forever. You thought the rejection was bad? Wait until you hear what Steve Harvey reportedly did when he found out Brandy was the one leaking the tea. The plot doesn't just thicken. It solidifies into a wall that Laurie Harvey can no longer climb over. The fallout from Michael B. Jordan's Oscar win has transitioned from a private family embarrassment into a full-scale public relations disaster that no amount of Marjorie's designer handbags can fix. We are now witnessing the burn-it-all-down phase of the Harvey family saga. According to the latest investigative leaks from the camp of Brandy Harvey, the legal threats have started flying like confetti. Reports suggest that Steve Harvey's legal team has been put on high alert, not to sue Michael B. Jordan, because what could they possibly sue a winner for, but to potentially silence the dissenters within their own bloodline. The sarcasm here is almost poetic. A man who built an entire empire on telling people how to act like a success is now reportedly using his legal muscle to stop his own biological daughter from telling the truth. Brandy Harvey, however, is reportedly unfazed. Sources say she's told her father that if he wants to play lawyer, she has enough receipts to keep the Harvey name in courtrooms and tabloids for the next decade. The consequences of this feud are hitting the Harvey family where it hurts the most, the brand. Industry insiders are hinting at a hypothetical probe into Steve Harvey's business dealings and how his blended family image was used to secure massive endorsement deals. If the public starts to believe that this image was built on the backs of his abandoned biological children while prioritizing a stepdaughter who fumbled their most prestigious connection, the financial fallout could be catastrophic. We're talking about potential contract cancellations and brand distancing. Laurie Harvey's dignity-restoring era is officially over. Instead of being the it girl who moves with grace, she is being portrayed as a desperate ex-girlfriend who is currently being investigated by the court of public opinion for her lack of loyalty. The investigative findings show that Laurie's engagement on social media has turned into a battlefield of criticism, with thousands of users asking one simple, piercing question: how does it feel to watch from the sidelines while he makes history? And let's talk about the hypothetical resignations within the Harvey inner circle. Reports suggest that several longtime assistants and PR specialists have quietly stepped down or gone on leave since the Oscar voicemail incident. The atmosphere has reportedly become so toxic that even the paid help can't stand the tension. Marjorie is reportedly in a state of war, allegedly accusing Brandy of trying to dismantle everything she worked to build for Laurie. But the reality is that Laurie dismantled it herself when she walked away from Michael. The sarcasm in Brandy's alleged response to Marjorie was chilling. "I didn't fumble the Oscar winner, your daughter did. I'm just the one documenting the wreckage." This internal crisis has led to what some are calling a Harvey lockdown, where everyone is reportedly being forced to sign new, stricter non-disclosure agreements. But for Brandy, that ship has already sailed, and it's currently carrying all the tea straight to our screens. The public backlash against Steve Harvey is also intensifying. People are digging into his past with an investigative fervor usually reserved for cold cases. They are looking at the 2007 divorce from Marsha Harvey, the allegations of neglect, and the way he reportedly moved on to Marjorie while leaving his first family in the dust. The irony is staggering. Steve is the man who tells you how to get the guy, but he couldn't keep his own family together without it turning into a Succession-style battle for relevance. The abuse of power narrative is sticking to him like glue. Fans are pointing out that while Michael B. Jordan spent his Oscar night honoring his mother and his roots, Steve Harvey's household is divided by jealousy over a stepdaughter who many feel is famous for nothing. The fallout isn't just social, it's emotional. Brandy has reportedly shared that Laurie is spinning out of control, trying to buy her way back into relevance with high-end photo shoots and leaked dates with Damson Idris. But the investigation into public sentiment shows that nobody cares about a block spin when a legend has been born. The tension is so high that there are rumors of a hypothetical family intervention, where Steve is being begged to choose between Marjorie's PR games and his biological children's respect. But given Steve's track record, the investigative findings suggest he'll likely just go into another room and light up a cigar, hoping the problem disappears. Newsflash, Steve. This problem has an Oscar, 20 million followers, and the entire world on its side. It's not going anywhere. What about Michael B. Jordan in all this? He is reportedly moving like a ghost through the Harvey drama. He hasn't liked a single post, hasn't made a single comment, and has reportedly instructed his team to veto any interview questions that mention the Harvey name. He has effectively erased Laurie from his narrative. To Michael, she isn't the one that got away. She's the lesson he learned before he became a king. The consequences for Laurie are that she is now officially a relic of his past. Every time she tries to associate herself with him, she looks smaller. The straight-to-voicemail move was the ultimate execution of his power. It signaled to the world that Laurie Harvey no longer has a key to the kingdom. As we reach the conclusion of this investigation, the hypothetical probes into the Harvey family's future look grim. There is talk of Steve potentially stepping back from some of his more family-oriented hosting duties because the irony is simply too much for the audience to swallow. How can you host a show about family values when your eldest daughter is exposing your favorites? The public is demanding the truth, and Brandy Harvey is the only one serving it without a filter. The corruption of the perfect blended family narrative is complete. Laurie's down bad status is the ultimate proof that money and beauty can't buy you a seat at the table of greatness if you don't have the character to stay there. The fallout is a masterclass in karma. Laurie Harvey wanted to be happy and single, and now she is reportedly single, crying, and watching her ex-boyfriend win the highest honor in his profession. Michael B. Jordan wanted to be a legend, and he is now sitting on the throne. Brandy Harvey wanted to be heard, and she has finally turned the volume up so loud that the whole world is listening. The investigative findings are clear. The Harvey dynasty is shaking, the queen of dating has been dethroned, and Michael B. Jordan is the only one who came out of this war with his dignity and a gold statue to match. The story of the Harveys versus MBJ will go down in Hollywood history as the ultimate cautionary tale. It's the story of what happens when you prioritize the streets over a soulmate, and what happens when family secrets are used as weapons of war. Steve Harvey might be a Family Feud host by profession, but is currently losing the real-life family feud that matters most. And as for Laurie, she's reportedly still waiting for that callback. But if I were her, I'd stop checking the phone. Michael B. Jordan is busy living a life she chose not to be a part of, and the voicemail box is full. And there you have it, the absolute destruction of a Hollywood fairytale and the birth of a legend. Michael B. Jordan is holding the Oscar, but it's the Harvey family that's feeling the weight of the world. From straight to voicemail to Brandy Harvey's nuclear leaks, the curtain has been pulled back on the it girl of our generation, and the view isn't pretty. Is Laurie Harvey truly the fumbler of the century? Or is the world being too hard on a woman who just wanted her freedom? And what about Brandy? Is she a hero for speaking her truth, or is she wrong for exposing her family's darkest hour? This is more than just celebrity gossip. It's a lesson in level-ups and loyalty. Michael B. Jordan showed us that when you lose the distraction, you find the destination. But I want to know what you think. Is there ANY way back for Laurie? Or has the MBJ rejection permanently stained her brand? And do you think Steve Harvey will ever truly make things right with Brandy? Sound off in the comments below. I want to see the debates, the theories, and the tea. Don't forget to hit that like button if you enjoyed this deep dive investigation, and subscribe with notifications turned on. Because in this house, we don't just report the news, we expose the truth that they don't want you to see. Until next time, stay unbothered, stay legendary, and for the love of everything, don't fumble your Michael B. Jordan. I'm out.